Hello again, welcome back to PonderPub. I am your host, Blunty. Now, this is an iPhone game review, but before we get into that, let me just say this. Rule 1. When you're doing what I do, you're a one-man show, you're producing videos like this, never ever announce your plans. Like, for example, if you announce to do an iPhone gaming review blitz and you're going to release a whole next batch of videos that are all going to be iPhone game reviews, don't tell people that. Because when you live the life I live, plans change. Let me tell you, plans radically change and things get in the way and new things come up and you've got to do things on different dates. And look, the iPhone gaming review blitz is still happening, but it's not happening in one solid block. It's going to unfold over the next week, week and a half or so. And some other things are going to be interrupting that because there are things that I want to do that are time sensitive and I have to do it. Anyway, now let's get into the review, shall we? We're looking at Arcade Hoops by Skyworks. The interesting thing about this game is one of the guys who is responsible for creating this game and unleashing it upon the unsuspecting world is actually one of the founders of Activision. And Activision is a name that's been around in gaming for decades now. I think decades anyway, at least a decade. I remember it from my childhood. Activision made some awesome games and game ports for the home consoles. And that's one of the things that really shines through in this game. It's got a lot of polish, a lot of attention to detail, and everything it has an extra shine to it that comes from a person with a wealth of experience and knowledge and a true love of gaming. Let's take a look at it. Arcade Hoops is what it's called, and unsurprisingly, Arcade Hoops is exactly what you get. When you start, you're presented with two game modes from which to choose from, Classic and Progressive. We'll talk about the difference shortly. Anyone who has visited the rapidly disappearing phenomenon of the video game arcade will know what the aim of this game is instantly. You got balls, you got a basketball hoop, and you got a limited amount of time in which to throw as many of your balls through the hoop as you can before the buzzer sounds. The more balls you sink, the higher your score, and any time I get to say a sentence that combines the words balls and score, and I avoid making the obvious pun, I think I should get a little cookie or something, because it's hard to resist. Balls. See if you can count how many times I get to say balls in this review. Balls. Okay, back to the game. It's simple stuff. There's no learning curve, there's no complex control system. Anybody can pick up and play this game right away. The gameplay is responsive, fun, and addictive. And it's one of those games that will likely have you on a never-ending quest to beat your last high score, and that's pretty much exactly what you want from this type of casual gaming experience. As I mentioned in the opening, this game has the high gloss finish and attention to detail of a creator who's been making games people love for many years. It really does show. The in-game physics are perfect, the balls move and behave in their environment exactly as you'd expect them to. The sounds are spot on, and the soundtrack, while it can get a little bit repetitive if you're playing for a while, is otherwise perfect for the short and sweet blasts of gameplay that this game is really all about. The second game made called Progressive is the same ball-tossing fun as the classic mode, but with the added challenge of the hoop progressively moving further away from you as the countdown timer continues on its inevitable and unstoppable path towards zero. The same rules apply though, fling as many of your balls through the hoop as you can before time runs out. In the options panel you've got the rules and how-to of the game, but I have a hard time believing anybody's really that dumb, and a few tweaks you can make to adjust the volume balance of the music versus the sound effects, and you can also select from 3 included music tracks. That's it, that's all you can adjust, but then there's not much really you need to adjust. And just like in the real-life equivalent of Arcade Hoops, you can frantically finger-fling as many of your 4 brilliantly bouncy balls as you can at once without having to wait for your pre-flung ball to return. The game plays smooth and fast, and it can feel surprisingly intense as the counter nears zero and starts sounding warning beeps proudly announcing that you've only seconds left to beat your previous high score. I wish all iPhone games, or even all iPhone applications, had this level of polished quality. Unfortunately, a large portion of what's out there simply does not, which makes games like this really stand out from the crowd. Okay, final verdict on Arcade Hoops. I love it. Everyone needs to own this. It's cheap, it's fun. It's one of those games you can just pick up, have a bash at it for 5 or 10 minutes, put it away and go on with the rest of your life and pick it up later on. Perfect while you're waiting in line or you're on a bus somewhere or sitting at home waiting for your next favourite TV show to come on, whatever it is. Highly recommend this game. A lot of fun, a lot of high polish on it. I've got nothing to complain about. Catch you next time.